So we see Hong Kong as a very good location, right? It's very cosmopolitan and international, and you can access, in our minds, both the East and the West, right? So you can go towards large markets like China, you can go towards large markets like Southeast Asia, but there's also a very forward Western mindset. So you can also access like the US market as well. So we see good legal framework, good regulatory framework, good support for tech companies as well. So we think it's a pretty good location to be at. Its fundraising is hard wherever you are. Doesn't matter you're in the US, in China, in Hong Kong, in Singapore. Fundraising is very tough. So for some advice would be startups should really prepare very well. They need to pitch well. They need to know what they are talking about. They need to be very prepared when it comes to pitching to an investor. But more important than that, they need to raise funds at the right time, right? It may be easy to raise a small amount of money from, let's say, friends and family or from angel investors. But when you start to go towards, let's say, venture capital or institutional capital, you really need to be ready. You need to have, the company needs to have sufficient traction. Your product, your solution needs to be out in the market. It needs to have whether user traction, revenue traction, so on and so forth. So the more progress that you have with your company, the better it is, right? So I think my advice for Hong Kong startups wanting to come to the US, even and other international markets as well, is to know in advance 2 or 3 things, right? Know what your objectives are. Know what, because if you are visiting the US for a short period of time, you can only get so much done, right? So you should know what you want out of the trip, right? Or why you want to be in a certain market. So know what your objectives are. Secondly, manage your own expectations in terms of what you can accomplish in a short amount of time, and given the resources that you have, right? For example, if you're coming out to Silicon Valley and you're looking for partnerships, for business development, for fundraising opportunities, again, it comes down to how much time you have, how ready you are to talk to investors or partners, and then to manage your own expectations. Lastly, I would say preparation. Preparation is the absolute most important thing for any short trip or long trip, right? Do your research beforehand. If you want to talk to potential business partners that you can sell your products or solutions to, you should research in advance, do a competitive analysis, see what local US competitors are doing, see who you want to talk to, reach out to them beforehand through social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, emails, etc. As well as if you are looking to fundraise. If you want to explore fundraising, do more research in advance with regards to who are the types of investors or specific ones that would look at something in your field, right? And don't be afraid to approach them and seek advice, right? So preparations, I would say, is one of the most important things. Now that I've spent about 1 to 2 days at Cyberport, first of all, I must say it's very impressive, right? I think the government of Hong Kong, the Cyberport management, has done an incredible job in building such a vibrant physical ecosystem. But the physical ecosystem is just one part of it, right? On top of the physical ecosystem, you have built a very strong community of startups, of events, of partners. I see Microsoft behind us, right? You have industry partners that are coming in to talk to startups, and even more than that, the entrepreneurial, the programs that Cyberport runs at the early stage, for early stage companies, right? It's very important for them to have to have support, whether it's on the financial side, monetary support, or on the community side. And I think Cyberport has done a lot in all of these areas. And to hear that I've met maybe 10 startups in the last 2 days. A lot of them have received help from Cyberport, and I think a lot of them have managed to move further along in terms of their product, their solution, the company, and what they're doing. So I see that I also hear that one of the next steps is for Cyberport to start helping companies access international markets as well. So the programs come with very little strings attached to the companies. So I think it's very strong support that we are seeing. Cyberport, fostering IT legends.